G'day everybody, how you going today? It is so very good to see you. I do hope you're super well. I'm feeling pretty excited. We're 2 days out of lockdown and I've got my first big photo shoot in a while tonight. Can't wait. We're going to be out on the streets shooting under beautiful, colourful lighting. Hopefully I can show you some of that later. And today we are shooting on the ZFC. Launch day around the world is with us. We're shooting on the 35mm Z1.8 lens, so that gives us a 52.5 equivalent. Shooting in 4K flat profile. This is how I normally shoot. What do you think? How does it look? And we are shooting at 1.8 aperture. Now today I want to talk about this exciting news right here. This is a leak of the back of the Z9. Now, I'm not going to show that to you on screen because this has already been taken down from the original poster, which suggests to me that maybe Nikon are not excited by it being out in the wild. So there's a blurry version of it there. If you want to go find it on the internet, it's in a few places. One of them is Nikon Rumors. I also want to talk about the new Sony camera, the ZV-E10. I'd like to talk about the R3 and some updated specs there that are a bit of a surprise. I think the Canon info and this Z9 info is coming from the Olympics. And I also want to talk about the ZFC a little more as well. So let's talk about this exciting image here of the Z9. Now, I suppose this echoes exactly what I was saying in this video here, which is the Z9 exists, it's real, and it will be at the Olympics. It is not a unicorn. Well, here it is. I'm pretty sure it is at the Olympics, and it doesn't look anything like a unicorn to me. But on a more serious note, it's fantastic that it's out there and being used and being entrusted to take the very important high action images of the Olympics. So that shows us that here already it is at a certain level of usefulness. Now, what does this image tell us about the Z9? It tells us that it is smaller than a camera like this one. Sorry, this camera is 10 years old and I've lost the rubber here on the back. It just went somewhere in the last decade. It's a similar sort of design to this one, but there is not these buttons here. There is not this screen here. So it's going to be a bit more compact in this axis, and it's going to be a bit more compact in this axis as well. So it's a full-blown, full-size vertical grip incorporated, large battery incorporated pro body, but on a smaller scale. And I think that is great because I suppose smaller, lighter is helpful for everybody in regards to travel, weight on planes, and, you know, I suppose you don't get as much as a workout, which personally I don't mind. I don't mind at this stage in my life. Perhaps when I'm a bit older, I will mind. So it's a little bit cut down, but we still have all of these buttons that give us the same thing vertically as they do on the standard grip. So that's fantastic. It's certainly got the current design aesthetic of a Z6, Z7, Z5. The button layouts are very similar. So if you own or are using any of those cameras, the Z9 will be completely familiar. Now, perhaps one of the most interesting points to come out of this image here is the fact that the screen is masked out with black tape. Now, I'm doubting that's for the fact that it's so prototype that it's sort of being stuck on there. I think it's probably more because they're trying to hide what sort of screen it is. Now, it's not clear to me what sort of screen it is, but logic suggests to me that there would only be hiding it if it's different from what we're used to. A D4, that screen, that's stuck in there, that's welded in there. So it's certainly a flippy screen of some type, and perhaps it's a full flip around screen. I'm not sure. It may well be more in keeping with the Z6 or a Z7, or perhaps it is possible that Nikon still have not decided. I'd be surprised about that, but maybe they haven't. Absolutely everything else looks like it's set in stone, and we do have very similar sort of button layout with our quality button and our white balance buttons down the bottom here. So there are extra buttons so you don't have to go into the I menu to do some of the more frequently used operations. So there it is. A little tiny bit more info about the Z9, the fact that it's real, the fact that it's not a unicorn, the fact that it's a familiar sort of Nikon experience, slightly cut down, but it's also very much a Z6, Z7, Z5 experience as well, which is exactly the sort of iteration, the advancement that we would expect from Nikon in their design language. And look, I'm super excited about it. I'm very excited to be seeing this at the Olympics. This is Nikon doing what they said they would do, and they said that they would create their marketing campaign for the Z9 around what happened at the Olympics. Well, it's happening. So I would say they are on track. Next, I want to talk about the R3. Yes, this is also from the Olympics. It seems, and I just want to put that slight caveat on there, it seems the photographer has accidentally leaked some images from the R3 which have all the metadata attached, and they show us that the R3 is a 24 megapixel sensor, 6,000 by 4,000 pixels. Not quite what we thought at 30 megapixels, but that's okay. I would have thought if you're in that space, there's actually not a massive difference between 24 and 30. And it's more going to be from a marketing and bragging perspective that people will be concerned about that. But from my personal perspective, those two numbers are pretty similar when it comes to outcomes. Like if you're wanting to print a picture or put it in a magazine, there's not a very big difference between them. So to me, look, I'm not a major Canon user these days. It's not a big deal. For some, it might be, I'm not sure. I do believe this is still going to be an absolutely epic 30 frames per second, 4K, probably 4K at 120 frames per second. Who knows, might even be more, 24 megapixel camera. It's still going to be a very impressive piece of kit. Next, let's talk about the Sony ZV-E10. It was rumored for quite a long time, but now it's arrived with gusto. And interestingly, it is an APS-C, so cropped sensor camera in a small format with a flip around vlogging style screen. And here it is aimed at that market very specifically. It does not even have an eyepiece for you to look through. Doesn't exist. There isn't one there. There's a super duper 3 microphone at the top, which allows for super duper sound directly from the camera, which is fantastic. There is no question that this camera is very directly aimed at the vlogging market. And look, it's come in at a super affordable price. Amazing. That is a very impressive price for what it offers. 4K 30 and all the sorts of things that we would expect. Now this segues me quite nicely to the fact that this camera was launched on the same day that the ZFC started shipping. Now I don't think that that's an accident, and the segue is talking about the ZFC and the ZVE-10. Holy cow, tongue twisters. These two cameras actually, to me, part of their user use case, part of their user base, it very much overlaps. They are both APS-C cameras, they both have flippy screens, they're both going to be totally useful and usable for the entry-level vlogging market. They're both aimed at it. They both come with controllers, so you can do all of this sort of stuff. No surprise that they are arriving and being announced at exactly the same time. So, they sit in the same place in the market, yet the Sony is cheaper. It is true. I can hear you saying the Sony is cheaper, and it is cheaper. For example, it is missing the fact that you can take it up to your eye and do the traditional stills experience, which someone like me, and I'm sure many, many thousands, if not millions of other people, want to take photographs by looking through an eyepiece, like so, like this, looking through an eyepiece like this, as opposed to doing this business. So that alone makes sense as to why there's a slight difference in cost. But these two cameras arrive, they're aiming at similar markets, there are differences of course, it's no coincidence that they're here at the same time together. Which segues me nicely to the end point, the ZFC, it's now arrived and it is appearing in people's hands all over the world. Doesn't matter where you are, whether you're in the USA, the UK, Europe, Australia, They are arriving, and both the zoom kit and the 28mm kit are both arriving. And so much so, I've even had one user that was so excited that from Grays of Westminster, they got their camera, they took a photograph of the fact that they have the camera and sent it to me. They are out there for real in the wild. I'm so excited about it. So Nikon have been able to ship some. They've obviously stated to us that orders are so huge that not everybody is going to get theirs on launch day. That's the case. I'm even going to have to wait for mine once I give these ones back. That one and that one there. It's a beautiful camera. Choose your color. I've got a couple more videos coming up about it yet. One that I'm super excited about is, and I filmed it yesterday, and that is I have coupled the ZFC with almost every lens that I own that I can do it with, and I have chosen some quite exotic non-Nikon lenses to put on it as well. And as a little bit of a teaser, not only is the ZFC, does it work with such a wide range of lenses, but so many of them look fantastic. Even the new Z ones, I think they knew this was coming and they thought about creating an aesthetic that could basically be timeless, which is a big part of photography, is creating images that stand the test of time. Well, I think this industrial design stands the test of time. The ZFC, it's here. Get your order in if you want one, or wait until it's on sale, which will be, I don't know, towards the end of this year. That's it for this little update. I hope you're excited about the Z9 and the fact that it is real, in hands, being tested, and let's really hope that Nikon land. They get that home run, they get that touchdown, and they land the Z9 starting to be out in people's hands by the end of this year. Please let me know in the comments below, what do you think of any of this stuff? What are you excited about? Have you got a ZFC? Please tell us in the comments below if you've got one and what color it is. If you haven't voted yet in the color poll, go to the community tab and vote. I'll put a link below in the show notes. So good to see you. If this is your first time here, I would love to see you again, so please do subscribe. Please share and please like. Liking helps the video get out there, which gets it to a larger audience, which is great for the channel, so that would be amazing. And I'll see you soon. This is the very last call out for the calendar. If you'd like to be in my 2022 calendar, your name in every single copy, now is the time. This is the last call out. This is the last time you'll hear me talk about it. We will go to print, and I suspect they will be in hand within about a month, and then they will be shipped globally. Thank you to those many people that have ordered so far. You are going to have your name in there, and you were the early adopters. I thank you. I will see you soon. Bye for now. Oh, and wish me luck for my shoot tonight. With all our lockdowns, I'm feeling a little rusty, so yeah, it'll be fine. Okay.